Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to show you how to download and install the eXist database software. Now, why do you need the eXist database software? Well, if you're going to do SVG graphics, particularly animations, the Bezier curve, that kind of thing, the coordinates that you're going to need are going to have to be stored in a database so that the website can access that database and draw those numbers in as needed. That's why you're doing this, okay? Otherwise, you wouldn't need this. But because you're going to do animations, you're going to do the Bezier curve, that kind of thing, you are going to need this. And I will show you that in future videos. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is there are some hyperlinks down here in the description below. The first one is going to be this page right here. As you can see here, I'm using my old laptop, and I'm using Ubuntu Linux. Now, the thing is that Microsoft keeps having conflicts with Oracle Java. And that's a problem because eXist runs off of Oracle Java. So, you really need to have Linux to run eXist. In the old days you didn't, but now you do. And that's why we're doing this, okay? I am well aware that Microsoft just released their Linux version of SQL. But that is very complicated to install. One of these days I'm going to go ahead and show you how to install that as well. But right now we're going to install eXist. We've been using eXist. If you go through my HTML lessons, all 150 of them, in the latter part of those lessons you will see that I've installed eXist and I was using it. That was before Microsoft started having conflicts with Oracle 9. Now, to download this, all you have to do is click this download button. Once you do, give it about 5 minutes and it will download. But it will never really tell you that it's finished downloading, okay? So, anyway, once you download eXist, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your file cabinet right over here. Now you're saying, well, when I have Ubuntu Linux, then I have the taskbar across the left-hand side. How did I get it along the bottom? Well, I'm going to show you a video on that in just a little bit, so bear with me on that one. But now that it's down here, we're going to hit the filing cabinet, and you're going to go to your downloads. And once you go to your downloads folder, you're going to hit eXist DB Setup 3.6.1 jar. Okay, you're going to right-click it, and you're going to open it with. Okay, you're going to open it with Oracle 9. And this is a simple 9-step procedure, as you will see here. I'm going to show you this in just a second. Alrighty, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to hit click next. Then you're going to click next again. And if it says it's already installed, just go ahead and hit yes anyway. Okay, now your data, you're going to have two folders, your program folder and your data folder, because if you don't keep the two separate, if anything ever happens to your hard drive, you can still retrieve the data files even though the programming files will probably be destroyed, okay? But you can still retrieve your data files. I know this from personal experience. I'll tell you that in a later video, okay? But anyway, we're going to hit Browse here. And I'm going to go up to my Documents folder. And I'm going to open it up. And then I'm going to hit Next. Now at this point it's going to ask you to type in a password. I am not going to show you my actual password. I'm going to cut this video off for just a second, type in the Now this is creating a password, okay? It's not a password that already exists. This is something you create on your own. And this is very important because you don't want anybody to crack into your eXist database software. So that's why we're going to do this. Alright, so I'm going to stop the video for a moment. I'm going to enter my password, and then I'm going to resume the video. So hang in there. I'll be right back. Now that I have returned, I'm going to finish the installation. As you can see here, we are on step number 5. We were on step number 4. Now we're on step number 5. So let's go ahead and do this. Alright. I'm going to click Next. Now it's going to go ahead and install it. It just takes a few moments. Okay. Now the next thing to do is you're going to click Next. If it gives you some kind of an error, don't worry about it. Just hit Continue. Hit Next. Now we're going to have it create additional shortcuts. Okay. Because it'll already create shortcuts in the Start menu. Now it's going to create additional shortcuts on the desktop. And then, that's the end of your installation. Now then, but that's not the end of all your problems. Alright, the first thing is, I'm going to go ahead and get out of this. How do you find the eXist database if it doesn't suddenly pop up on your screen like this? Okay, well the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go over here to Search Your Computer. Okay? It's this funky symbol on the far left. If your taskbar is down here, it's going to be on the far left. If it's up here on the left, it's going to be on the far top. Okay, you're going to click that. And as you can see, eXist database is right over here. I'm going to click that. Now you're going to have a new icon up here. On the top right, you're going to have a new icon. And as soon as this finishes loading up, you're going to click onto this icon. You're going to right-click it, and you're going to click the dashboard. Now then, it's going to ask you to log in. If this is the very first time you've ever used this software, you're going to type admin right over here. The letters A-D-M-I-N. Okay? Admin. A-D-M-I-N. If this is the very first time you've ever used this, just go ahead and log in without a password. If you have set a password, then you would put your password right in here. Okay? Now, you're probably saying to yourself, okay, what if it doesn't allow me to have a password? Well, I'm going to show you how to deal with that in just a second. So I'd like for you to just hang in there for one more moment. Alright, now that we're back, you can actually use this thing right down here. If you signed in as admin, but you didn't have to use a password, you can still get access to this. But I had a password, I already had set it up, so let's go ahead and do this. You have User Manager, and what you're going to do is you're going to right-click the admin. See that admin right there? You are the administrator. That's why it's called admin. You are the administrator of this. You're going to right-click, and you're going to hit Edit User, and you're going to be able to set your password after that. That's how you do that. Okay? Now then, one final note about all this. Alright? We have to go back to Search Your Computer, and we have to open Oracle Java 9 Web Start. Let's go ahead and open it. And the reason you're going to have to do this is because of Java... Oh, here, let me shrink this down here. You have to do this because of Java Admin Client. And I'll explain that in just a second here. If you're going to open Java Admin Client, you have to set up Oracle Java. And the reason is that Oracle Java will block the Java admin client unless you set this up. Now what you're going to do, there are several tabs up here. The first one says Exception Site List. We're going to go ahead and click the Exception Site List. There are hyperlinks that I'm going to provide down here in the description below. There's 3 of them, and what you're going to do is you're going to place them inside of here. Okay? And if I recall correctly, you're going to stick them right into this little box, and then you're going to hit Add. You're going to put the hyperlinks in here one at a time, in here. Then you're going to hit Add, and they'll store up in here. And when you do, then you can use the Java admin client. Alright? And that is how you create and install the eXist database into Ubuntu Linux. Alright? Alrighty. Well, that's all I've got to say for tonight on installing eXist. I will tell you more in a future video. If you have any questions, leave them down here in the comments below. I will happily answer them. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a good evening. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.